I think I have a good one here. This one was recommended to me. I think it's more of a funny one. It's called The Dumbest Things I Have Seen in the Military, Marine Corps Chronicles. So this is apparently incredibly crazy and dumb shit that happened in the Marine Corps. Apparently, supposedly this is a true story about something that's happened in the Marine Corps. Let's take a look.
The following is my own true story from my personal experience. They do not speak on behalf of the United States Marine Corps or any other U.S. Marine. This is my own story. If your experience is different, I cannot speak on that.
In the Marines, or the military in general, you will see some of the dumbest things beyond human comprehension. Stuff that makes you go,
Wait. What's this guy saying? Hang on. Why are you guys starting a bonfire under a plastic canopy? You do know it's going to melt, right? Corporal, it will only melt if the flames touch it.
man, I must be tweaking. But in the Marines, a branch literally known to be crayon eaters, I'm just gonna say that things can get a little squirrely. In this video, I'm gonna go over some of the times I witnessed stuff that made me kind of question reality and maybe tweak a little. This video is going to be 2 stories in one, as a big thank you for reaching 25,000 subscribers. And if you missed the first 4 episodes, hey, well, no need to get all squirrely because I put the first 4 episodes in one video for your convenience, if you want to watch it. So while all these stories have really stupid moments in their own way, I'll just tell them in chronological order. And what better way to start than a boot camp story where it all began. Do you remember Private Pyle, the guy in the movie Full Metal Jacket who was a constant fuck up and a little slow? Well, there's one thing that the movie got wrong about Marine Corps boot camp, which is that there isn't usually just one Private Pyle in your boot camp platoon. There's like at least 3. I am dead serious when I say this, but there are people in the
military people in chat, can you confirm, deny, or add on to? Are there at least 3 quote-unquote private piles per basic training group? I must have confirmation on this. Doc, you said you only had 1. Yeah, I know, the reverse ACOG. I see it, Revan. You had Arnami, you said you had at least 3 asshats. One guy you're saying confirmed from 2006. Ruppy, multiple. Oni, you said you had 1. Like this, so there's like at least 1 private pile in every group. But he's saying that there's at least 3.
military who should low-key not be there. We usually made jokes and call these people ASVAB waivers, the ASVAB being the military entrance exam. There are people in the military who I would not trust with a loaded firearm. And I'm just being honest. In the movie Full Metal Jacket, there is a scene where Private Pyle doesn't know his left from his right while doing drill, and he gets slapped for it. I remember seeing that scene all the way back in high school before I enlisted, and I just kind of laughed it off as like movie liberties and like exaggerations. But I had people in boot camp who literally did not know their left from their right. I remember on numerous occasions where drill instructors would say some shit like left boot on the body, ready move, all that stuff. And there would literally be some people putting on their right boot. It got me a little jittery. It got me a little heated. I ain't gonna lie.
I would imagine.
When I say stupid, I don't mean, oh, you don't know how to find derivatives of functions written in polar coordinates? Dumbass. No. That's not what I mean. When I say stupid, I mean people who probably butt chug paint thinner growing up. About a month into boot camp. And I remember to be about a month because we had recently gotten our quote-unquote square away time. Square away time is like an hour in the evening of essentially free time. You don't get phones or anything. In fact, you don't get to bring phones with you to boot camp at all. And I didn't even see any real electronics. And
now, of course, that's changed, as I understand it, right? Has boot changed that now recruits are actually able to possess electronics of some sort? Or is it still, when you're going through boot, they still take all your shit? Like, to my understanding, when you go into boot, they take all your shit. You have no personal belongings except maybe your wallet with your ID. And that's it. Like, that's fucking it. You get your wallet with your ID, and that's it. All the rest of it, they pull until you complete boot, and then you get it back. Is it still that way? Like, you get, okay, not even a wallet, you get a bag. Okay, so, like, not even, you just get a bag. Like, That's how I always thought. I was like, you don't get fuck all for personal property. You are issued like everything. Other than nail it to their parents or next to kin. Come up with that. Okay, one guy said in '06 you had no personal shit. I'm wondering about modern day. Yeah, the necklace, yeah, like the religious pieces, I think they let you keep because they had to because of like religious freedom or something like that. Well, evidency? Uh, wait, are you talking about what am I speaking? I'm speaking about like any personal belongings whatsoever, like including electronics. Like the last I'd heard with in regards to electronics or even personal belongings, you do not get fuck all. You are literally, you only are able to possess what you are issued, and that's it. No, I mean, Kinito, we are talking like 20 years ago. 2006 is like 20 years ago. A lot can change in, excuse me, in 20 years. So, yeah. And by the way,
Remember,
okay,
Ember,
thank you for
Army
the
publicly
grade.
announced they allow cell phones. The same branch that was so soft it birthed the Air Force.
Really, they announced that they allow. I did, and again, in case I stumbled myself, Monkey, thank you for the raid. Welcome in, raiders. We are talking about crazy shit that happens in boot camp. Okay, and the reason why I'm asking about this is because remember that financial audit that we saw. They were going to actually like call his wife, who was in basic, who was in boot, or she was in AIT, and he was going to actually call her on the show, which made me think that she had her phone in her possession. So you see why I'm asking about this. Like, have things changed where now recruits are actually able to? Well, Canito, it depends. It depends on the MOS. Because now this may have changed from the last I've heard about it. Some MOSs, boot and AIT is kind of blended together. Like you go through boot, you finish boot, and then you immediately jump into AIT. It's not like you're going anywhere else. You're immediately jumping into AIT. It's basically OSAT. So that's why I asked it. And so, but apparently they made the announcement they can have the cell phones. Why? Why is the military doing this pussification measures? Why? Revan, I've heard that it's also for Cav. I have heard that OSIT is also done with Cav as well. Now, maybe that's changed from the time that I heard about it. But that's when I heard. And
Definitely not any smart devices until after I graduated boot camp. But square away time was just time to write letters, clean, organize your gear, work out if you really wanted to, or my favorite square away time activity, use the bathroom with minimal risk of some drill instructor pulling a peeping Tom on you. And it is considered a privilege. Your DIs can take away square away time from you just as fast as they gave it to you like 3 to 4 weeks into boot camp. So during one of these square away times, I got to talking to one of the other recruits there, and I'll just call him, Pyle, for reasons you'll find pretty obvious.
No.
Pyle was not all there in the head. I'm pretty sure dude had a bit of minor brain damage, or at least an undiagnosed CTE, to be fair. Look, I'm not trying to be mean here, but dude had at least a brainworm speaking to him in his head, alright? He struggled with a lot of basic tasks. Like, you would have to mark your gear a certain way with like stamps and stuff, and you would fold your sheets a certain way, and I can just see him struggling with all these pretty basic tasks. And whenever I could lend him a hand and get away with it, I would. So on this day, he actually called me over to his rack. Rack is like his bunk, essentially, during our square away time. I didn't think too much about it, right? He was probably gonna ask me to help mark his gear or something, or so I thought. Except this dude wanted my advice for some crazy ass medical treatment he was about to pull on himself. Dude had pink eye. Now that was normal in boot camp. In fact, in boot camp, you're going to get sick. And keep in mind that pink eye is highly contagious, and that
I need some confirmation. Is that true? Is there a lot of, there's a lot of like people getting sick in boot camp? I suppose that makes sense. You've got what, like 30 people all crammed into a bay together? Yeah, okay, so many people crammed in such a small space, all share it together. Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Shit spreads like wildfire, and you're housed in like essentially a big ass room with like 90 other dudes potentially all sharing the same space. You're gonna get sick. I got pneumonia in boot camp. One of my drill instructors got fucking tuberculosis. I shit you not. And we all to get these like shots in our arms that like swell up a little
Jesus!
bit, and they gotta see how it swells in. I'm not a doctor. Long story, but the gist is that pink eye and sickness was pretty normal in boot camp. So when this dude showed me his pink eye, I was like, alright, whatever. I didn't think too much about it until he told me that it was really bothering him and he wanted it gone. And so he devised a plan to pour hand sanitizer in his eyes to cure his pink eye. Now,
What? I'm sorry, fucking what? He wants to pour... Do you want to liquefy your eyeballs? Because this is how you liquefy your fucking eyeballs. What the actual okay, hold up. Hold on. Hold on. Oh, okay. Are we sure he wasn't trying to get kicked out? Okay, are we sure this motherfucker wasn't just trying to get kicked out of the Marines? Cause I could see someone being stupid enough to say, I don't like it here, I want to go home, I'm gonna dump hand sanitizer into my eyes. I legit could see someone doing something that fucking stupid.
I'm no doctor, like I said, and you might call me crazy here, but I don't think that's how that shit works. Obviously, I tell him it's a stupid ass idea, and this dude, he literally glares at me, points to the small travel size hand sanitizer bottle, and to the part where it says it kills like 99.9% of germs, and then he points to his eyes, and I'm paraphrasing, but tells me that he was either told by the DI or someone medical, I forget, but he was told that pink eye is caused by like fecal matter in the eyes. Fecal matter has germs, and therefore hand sanitizer will kill those germs. First of all, do not try this at home. But second of all, in a really stupid way, what he said does kind of make sense. Now, I'm not saying it does make sense. It doesn't. But to like a stupid person, it would kind
Okay. Big problem. Pink eye is not a germ. Pink eye is bacterium. It's a bacterium infection. It's not like a germ. This only works if you get to the fecal matter before it actually gets into your eyes, you numbnuts. If it's already there, then it turns into a bacterial infection. What the fuck? Oh my god, chat. I will remind you. This person is not only wanting to defend the country from all enemies, foreign and domestic, he can vote. He can vote, and his vote counts just as much as yours. Tanashi, I don't care about his heart being in the right place. I'm worried about his mind being in the right place. His mind is much more valuable in this situation than his heart. And right now, his mind is losing currency points. Drastically.
Kind of makes sense. Does that make sense? Like, I'm trying my best to explain to him scientifically why that is a moronic idea. And it's not like I can just whip out my phone or use AI. I mean, that wasn't even a thing then. But I'm trying to explain away a stupid idea without being able to use more complex concepts because he wouldn't understand them. Sort of like showing someone how to swim without actually swimming. But that person is also a 3-time drowning champion. And I kind of settle with giving him kind of equivalent scenarios, not verbatim, but stuff like, hey, you know how you use bleach to clean your toilet and it kills germs, but you wouldn't want to use it on your eyeballs? So tell me why I'm like halfway through my second example when this dude cuts me off again, looks at me like I'm crazy, and he points to me and then to the hand sanitizer bottle and tells me to read it. Like, I'm the one who's lost and confused. At that moment, I was a little squirrely. Here I am, on my square time, which we only get an hour of, trying to convince a dude not to put hand sanitizer in his eyes.
Bear in mind, I'm guessing he was probably a lot more patient with this guy than anyone else in the unit. I'm guessing anyone else in the unit, if he'd approached them and talked about wanting to put hand sanitizer in his eyes because of the pink eye, because look, it kills 99% of germs. Anyone else in the unit probably would have been like, okay, go for it, but give me a minute. I want to call the buddies over here.
What the is that?
They would have said, okay, I'm with you, but can you wait just like 5 minutes? I gotta get some friends and some popcorn first.
In this world, you can tell some people not to touch an open flame because it's hot and they will listen. Others, you might need to explain a little bit more. Maybe have them hold their hand a little closer to the flame to feel some of that heat so they get the idea. And some people, they just need to get burned to learn a lesson. And in this case, I figured Powell was just the dude that needed to touch fire and learn his lesson. And so, after saying all that I could say, I told him to, look, please reconsider what you're about to do. And I left. The following day, we did our normal daily stuff, and I saw Powell here and there. And keep in mind, this was boot camp during peak summertime, and so we had close to 90
These people
in our
vote.
platoon.
Democracy is of the people by the people for the people, but the people are retarded.
Yes, I've heard the quote too. We saw the. I'm pretty sure did we see the quote on stream? I think. Pretty sure.
Boot camp during peak summertime, and so we had close to 90 people in our platoon. You see a lot of people throughout the day, but you can't really just like stop and hold a conversation with them without, well, someone fucking you up. And Powell looked pretty normal throughout most of the day. I mean, I figured if he was gonna go through with putting hand sanitizer in his eyes, he wouldn't be so vapid. So I decided to check up on this dude during square away time. However, when square away time rolled around that evening, I didn't see Powell in the main squad bay, and so there's really only one place he could be, the bathroom, or as we called it, the head. Now, I was not about to go in the bathroom and hold a full-blown conversation about pink eye with this dude. And keep in mind that bathrooms are—
Okay, I'm sorry, but missed opportunity here to be referring to him as pink eye Pile. I'm sorry, this is a missed opportunity. It's literally been served up to you on a silver platter to call him pink eye Pile. I'm not mad. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. That's all.
not about to go in the bathroom and hold a full-blown conversation about pink eye with this dude. And keep in mind that bathrooms in Marine Corps boot camp, and probably other branches too, are open. There are side dividers, but no actual stall door. And there are like two sets of toilet seats facing each other. If I remember correctly, like 5 in each row. Don't quote me on that. And to be honest, now that I think about it, I don't even know why they bothered with the side stalls. The bathroom was still pretty much open, and the showers were literally just those open showers. I mean, I didn't mind because even if it was awkward at first, you did get used to it. But the stalls just made the bathroom harder to clean. Anyways, whatever. Going back on track, right? So it was normal to have full-blown conversations with other recruits while using the toilet or showering. But most people like to use the bathroom in peace, as did I. And I didn't want to violate that or violate his privacy by having a conversation about his devious plot and pink eye in the middle of the open, essentially. So I'm waiting and waiting, and it's nearing the end of our square away time. I'm doing some bullshit while waiting, cleaning, writing letters, I don't fucking know. And I remember thinking, man, maybe Powell went down to medical, I just didn't see him. And more minutes go by, and now I see everyone starting to wrap up whatever they were doing. They're putting away their letters, storing away their gear, and suddenly I see Powell walk out of the bathroom, and this dude looks like he experienced a demonic possession. Dude's eyes were blood red. It wasn't pink eye anymore, it was pack-a-punch pink eye. I walked up to him, trying not to draw too much attention, but the first thing I say is, ain't no goddamn way. And he tells me that instead of pouring hand sanitizer in his eyes like his original plan, he instead took one of those brown paper towels, you know what I'm talking about, right? That shit that could double as sandpaper, dabbed them in hand sanitizer and used them to quote-unquote clean his eyes. And the moment the paper towel touched his eyes, it obviously started burning. And so he spent the majority of spare time afterwards flushing out his eyes with water. I don't think I need to explain anymore why that was a stupid ass idea, and I am grateful that he—
Okay. You know what? The immediately flushing it with water was probably the best thing that he could have done. The damage is going to be done. Bear in mind, the damage is going to be done, but immediate flushing of the eyes. Great thought he did at least that. If he was just sitting there going ow, 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 and just like flooding it with it, like if he'd gone the route of instead of going to an immediate eye flush, started like using the paper, like a dry paper towel to try and like wipe it out of his eyes with dry paper towel, he probably would have been blind. Honestly. It's, I know, Chelsea. Trust me. I know. But yeah, exactly, Silver. Yeah, at this point, it's about, yeah, at least he mitigated the damage somewhat versus like trying to dry wipe the fucking stuff out of his eye sockets. With just a dry paper towel because he could have blinded himself at that point. Yeah, so at least he jumped to an eye fish.
I don't think I need to explain anymore why that was a stupid ass idea, and I am grateful that he kind of listened, compromised, and decided to dab his hand sanitizer in his eyes instead of going all in. He probably would have gone blind, but his eyes had that demonic red glow to them for like the next 2-3 days or so. The drill instructors never found out because, to be honest, I don't think they really cared unless Powell actually went blind. The moral of the story: pay attention to school, kids. This story does end with some people getting negative paperwork and other stuff like negative counseling. I keep privacy in mind in all of my videos, but I want to make it extra known for this story because if you went to Marine combat training with me, you know exactly what story I am about to tell. But don't worry, I'm not here to expose anyone or put anyone on blast. It's just me being clear and just me telling the story. And this story takes place right after I graduated from boot camp. I was a 0621, by the way, or a field radio operator, and I also picked up a secondary 0933 MOS later that I high-key enjoyed more, but that's for another time. And for those that don't know, pogues like me go to a month-long course after boot camp called Marine Combat Training, or MCT, and infantry MOSs go to ITB. MCT was pretty fun, and for the most part, it was just a regular course, meaning that, yes, we got fucked with here and there because we were boots, but for the most part, we were there to learn some stuff, finish required training, and then head on our way to MOS school. There was really no problems at MCT until we got to the final event, which was a live fire machine gun shoot paired with buddy rushes with also live rounds. But before we get to what happened, I need to set the scene. When you see videos of people doing cool shit in the military, keep in mind that for every minute of that cool shit, there are hours of preparation, movement, waiting, cleaning, and just bullshit. So before we got to the culminating event, we had also spent the last few weeks doing a variety of other things and hiking and all that stuff. I found it to be pretty fun, and so did everyone else. I think at least. But on the way to our final event was an early morning hike. We had to bring our machine guns alongside our other stuff like the spare barrel and tripod back, some water jugs, and just other random stuff they make you carry on a hike. It was also my turn to carry the M240 Bravo. By turn, I mean I was voluntold. Now, I am not a machine gunner. You machine gunners, hey, you probably enjoy carrying the 240. I, however, did find the M240 uncomfortable to carry. I hear someone...
Yeah, the 240 is... This is a big boy. It like that the 240 is a big boy. It can, yeah, you can see it right there. It can be a pain in the ass humping that thing. Not to mention, like, was he also like, I realize this is in training, but I also question, like, was he carrying the ammo? I guess it's probably no, he probably didn't have to carry the ammo. But yeah, if he had to also carry 1 to 2, because if I'm not mistaken, 240 gunners, don't they carry like 2 spare boxes of ammo as standard? Correct me if I'm wrong. I thought it was like you would usually have like 1 box loaded in, and then I thought you would carry 2 spare boxes as well, but I could be wrong about that. What? Yeah, it's true story there. Yeah, like this is like one of the only thing worse that I could think of is the guy that got designated to carry the mortar plate. Like that would be the bigger bitch to carrying a 240, or God help you, the M60, would be the mortar boys that had to carry the ground plate. That sucked. That must have sucked.
Carrying the 240. I, however, did find the M240 uncomfortable to carry. I hear someone typing already, oh, you're a pussy, blah, blah, blah. By uncomfortable, I just mean it was uncomfortable. Like, if you pointed at me and asked if I would rather hike with or without a machine gun over my shoulders, I would choose to walk around without a machine gun, unless I can keep it. And it wasn't just because of the weight of the machine gun, although it certainly wasn't light either, but as a radio operator, carrying all my gear along with like a backpack radio and all the other shit you need for a radio, and the spare batteries, that shit does get pretty heavy. Thankfully, the battery...
What?
All the other shit you need for a radio, and the spare...
ANPRC 117G map. Oh, I've seen these. I've seen these before. Yeah, although usually when I saw these were mounted in vehicles. These are not. Yeah, imagine throwing this into a ruck along with like spare batteries and the antennae and oh, that would. Plus, then you throw a 240 Bravo on top of that. Fucking hell, that would suck. Oh, fuck.
Spare batteries, that shit does get pretty heavy. Thankfully, the batteries for the radios are these like hefty green or tan cubes that you can kind of just Tetris in your bag like you're looting in Tarkov. I usually just stuck them either in my day pack or dump pouch when I was out of space, and while carrying a bunch of batteries does get heavy, they feel nicer because again, you can Tetris them in your bag so they fit comfortably. That was not the case with the 240, at least for me. Hey, I can only speak for myself. It just felt really awkward whenever I threw it over my shoulders and hiked with it because I felt like it was just oddly shaped with like a weird weight distribution, right? Like if you hike with a 240, hey, let me know if you agree with me or I'm just going crazy. So I'm hiking along and someone next to me is carrying some.
Well, I mean, yeah, like as near as I can tell, like like all of the weight on the 240 is towards the rear, is it not? Like it's not like the weight is distributed equally along the length of it. It's everything. All the weight is like in the receiver back here. So it's gonna be very bottom heavy, which means when you're throwing the fucker over your shoulder, it's gonna be awkward as hell. Yeah, I get it. I fucking get it.
Hey, let me know if you agree with me or I'm just going crazy. So I'm hiking along and someone next to me is carrying some almost full water jugs and some other BS. I could tell this dude wasn't having a good time either, but since I had the 240 and was also not having a good time for reasons I just explained, I asked if we wanted to switch. And so about halfway through the hike, we switch roles. I pass on my 240 for this guy to carry and I start hiking with all the shit that he was carrying. But as I'm passing off the 240, this dude grabs the machine gun to carry and sling over his shoulders and neck the way I did it, but something just looked off. I couldn't quite place my finger on it then, but it did look like something was wrong with his flak jacket. But what?
Wait. No lap panel or neck stroke. Wait. Oh, yo. Oh, I'm wondering, did he hook the barrel under the shoulder strap of the flak jacket? I'm wondering when he went to go shoulder it, did the barrel go underneath the shoulder strap of the flak? And so now if it wobbles, it's gonna like it's gonna throw him wildly off balance or something? Because I'm assuming there's no ammo loaded in. I'm assuming there's no ammo currently like even loaded into the machine gun as of yet. It's still stored, has not been loaded, nothing. So,
But whatever, we finished the hike, did our live fire culminating event later in the day, and we were getting ready to pack up and leave when I hear one of our combat instructors pissed off and yelling. So naturally, we all gather in a group, and it turns out that he caught a few people with no ceramic sappy plates in their flak jacket.
who called the no plates? Who called no plates? Gore, you took the plates out. What? Okay, but Gore, you said he took the sappy plates out. I'm wondering if he never put them in the first place, and maybe that's why it looked weird. Like he maybe took the plates out back at the barracks prior to the exercise. Yeah, maybe. Because, like, I can't see him taking the plates out when they swapped gear. I can't see that happening. This must have been before they even started their hike.
Happy plates, or just plates, are the hard armor inserts that are actually rated against rifles and other intermediate and full powered cartridges, of course depending on the ballistic rating of the plates. And for those that don't know, these sappy plates are inserted from the bottom of the flak jacket or plate carrier, and they are velcroed in so that they can be easily removed or replaced as needed. We had on flak jackets which had some rigidity to them and soft armor protection, even without plates, meaning that while you can notice if someone isn't wearing their plates in a flak jacket, it's less
Wait. Hang on.
Without plates, meaning that
here are some plate carriers, and without plates, they look very weird. I mean, yeah, like this looks very weird being as flat as this. I don't know about that one.
While you can notice if someone isn't wearing their plates in a flak jacket, it's less noticeable than not wearing plates in like just a straight up plate carrier. In other words, this dude thought he could remove his plates from his flak jacket and hike like that to make things more comfortable. Unfortunately for him, the
Fuck.
jig is up. Our combat instructors had all of us line up in a big ass group, and he and other instructors told us that this was our last chance to confess or else we get NJP'd and just fucked up. Now, if you aren't wearing your plates, they would be in your main pack because that's the only other place they would be unless you straight up left them in the squad bay, which you're extra stupid if you did that. And
kidding.
as we staged our main packs, they were just too far away for anyone to grab or sneak their plates in. So if you were not wearing your plates then, you were fucked. Thankfully, being a good boy and motivator myself, I had my plates in. But I saw some people getting a little squirrely. That moment, I thought back to the dude who took the M240 from me, moving weird. And so I figured that the dude caught without his plates probably wasn't the only one. And after a few more minutes of getting blasted, more people confessed, just like I thought, to where we had now 6 to 8 guys with no fucking plates for the live fire culminating event. The one time that you might want to wear some body armor in case some other PFC pops you. Or maybe I pop you accidentally. And that was a stupid decision. But all that skating because you didn't want to hike with body armor on? Or at least the plates in them? Are you serious? You joined the military. You did not think you were going to be wearing body armor and hiking at some point? So the instructors go down each row and they just pounded us. Sorry, I always said that. They stiff armed us in the chest and back to make sure that we had our plates in. But at that point, all the people with no plates had already confessed. Because how the actual hell are you going to fake having your plates in? So we go back to the barracks, and for the rest of MCT, we constantly made jokes and called the 6-day people not wearing their plates as the sappy plate boys. As for what happened to the sappy plate boys, well, the instructors pulled them to the side, and they were dealt with. Now, I know some of the guys got extra Firewatch because my ass saw them pulling Firewatch duty that night for way longer than like a normal Firewatch shift. Someone also told me they got negative paperwork alongside some other people, and it seemed like the severity of the punishment was also how honest you were. Did you confess, or did you try to play the long game? I don't think the instructors for our platoon wanted to explain to the chain of command why almost 10 of their students didn't wear their plates to the live fire exercise, especially since we were all about to graduate. And so they never followed through with giving like 8 people on full-on NJP. At least to my knowledge. The guys I talked to after this happened could have all gotten NJP'd for all I know, but agreed to tell everyone else that they got a lesser punishment. And we were all privates and PFCs at the time, so it's not like they could have really gotten demoted. The moral of the story, don't be stupid, and you might want to wear your gear properly. Thank you for listening, and part 2 will be out next week because I actually wanted to make this like 4 stories in one, but ran out of time. So stay tuned, alright? Like and subscribe for more stories, stay hydrated, and bye!
Okay. That's some... Okay, that's some crazy ass shit right there. I must say. That's some crazy shit.